Greetings, our dear viewers, and you're welcome to Hagne Initiatives, bringing you conversations that build you and build us, and together we walk a journey of helping ourselves to become better versions. This is Wera Agnes, your friend from the Hagne space, bringing you conversations that build. In the 5 key pillars of the Hagne space is spiritual, emotional, social, physical, and financial wellness. I encourage you to keep with us throughout the conversation today, which is about going. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will be glad and rejoice in it. Greetings to you, dear friends of Hagne, wherever you are around the world. We thank God that we are still able to bring you conversations that build. I hope and believe that you're going to make meaning with 1 or 2 sentences in this conversation. The conversation is mainly around the fact that you and I should keep going. Keep going has been echoed by so many speakers, international and regional speakers. Keep going has been mentioned by Oprah, by Steve Harvey, the late Miles Monroe, who talked about it many, many times. Keep going. There's a gentleman whose book I read, and I've said it many times, a book that says tough times never last, tough people do, written by Robert Schuller. That book is a confirmation to me, and I hope you can find time to open that book and read it. It can be a soft copy. You can get a soft copy if you don't have the time to sit down and read page by page. You can open an audio while driving or while in a bus or a train and listen to that book. Indeed, to me, it's a confirmation that we can keep going. Tough times never last, but tough people do. Today, I would like to share with you a number of tips that will help you to keep going. As a leader, what are some of the things that hinder you from keeping going? Is it the fact that you have been fired from a job that you've held for the last, say, 5 to 10 years? Is it a family member that is telling you that you know what you're doing is not right? Is it a friend? What is it that is hindering you from going? Is it a failed relationship? Is it the anticipation of what you would have wanted or have wished to become? What is it that keeps you from going? Friends, I would like to share with you tips to encourage you to keep going. And tip number 1 is learn from your mistakes. It is possible that you have been fired from a job that you have done for the last 5 years or so. And chances are it is either your supervisor that simply wanted to take you out of the job for reasons that they can only confirm. It could be that the company is not working well and they simply want to downsize. It could be that they're not interested in your skills anymore. It could be that you have not been performing. And that is where I want to dwell a bit more. If at all you have not been performing, is it possible for you to learn from your mistakes? And once you learn from your mistakes, you tell yourself, you know what, yes, I have committed this mistake in the past, but I can correct it. Tip number 2, be accountable to yourself. Because at the end of each day, it is possible that you possibly have not used your time well. Are you able to ask yourself to do a self-assessment? Check yourself, be accountable, be committed to change to the person that you want to be. That is tip number 2. And it is very important that each day you will be able to assess yourself and ask, have I done what I had scheduled myself to do? Yes, I know during the day there might come things that interrupt your program. It is normal. don't slice yourself or feel so horrible about it. Just check yourself and know that on your bucket list, there's something that you were supposed to do. You did not do it because there's something that came up. However, you can shift that to tomorrow. But please make sure when you shift it to tomorrow, then you're committed to doing it. Tip number 3 is trying to cut off those things that do not add value. Those things might include some certain relationships, certain things that you have been doing, but when you check yourself, you realize that they don't actually add value. They don't shift you from 1 to 2. I normally like to use the formula 1 plus 1. If I started out on Monday with 1, can I end the day with a plus 1? Can I end the second day with a plus 1? Like that. And when I complete day 7, have I added from my 1 that I started with on Monday? Do I now have 8 or do I have minus 1? It is important to cut off those things that do not add value and instead be on the lookout. Be hungry to look out for things that will add value to your lifestyle, to your relationships, to your finances, to your spiritual life, to whatever you call meaningful to yourself. Cut off those things that don't add value, but instead utilize the plus 1 formula. The other tip is to take stock of how you are currently using your time. We have this English expression that we all know, that time is money or time wasted is never regained and all of that. It is true. Can you check yourself? How do you use your time? When you wake up, what do you plan to do? If it's a work schedule of 8 hours in a day, how much of that time do you use effectively? And are you able to account for each hour? If somebody asked you that from 9 to 10, what were you doing? Are you able to account for that? Are you able to tell a story of how you used your time? And I want to speak into procrastination when it comes to the aspect of time. Most of us actually procrastinate. But from the time I read this article that reminded me that, procrastination is the pretense that God has given you another day to do what you were supposed to do today. So, friends, in today's conversation, I want to encourage us to utilize those tips. I know for sure I'll be bringing you more and more tips to help us to become better. Today's conversation was with the topic, let's keep going. We can only keep going if we utilize the tips that I've shared and if we keep checking ourselves. If you have not yet done so, I encourage you to subscribe to our channel at the Hagne space, to like, to share, but most so give us your comments so that together we can walk a journey of going. We want to go and let's keep going. All right, thank you, friends. Bye.